Yes. Put this light here. Where's my? I never put my shoe back, so I don't forget too much. Oh, please, can you give me the host now? Oh, please, can you give me the host now? Sarika Prabhu. Please, can you give me the host? Hare Krishna, everyone. So we just, you are welcome for today's section. We will just wait. Hare Krishna Mataji, you're welcome, Mataji. We will just wait for another 5 minutes. That will be like 10:40. And after that, we will start. And we will not wait for anyone. We will lock the room. So you're welcome.
Veera jana priya priya karo nirma pujitam Sri तन्ना कृपा भरऊ श्री चैतन्य कृपा भरऊ भुवि भुव मारव अंतरक वंदे रूप सनातन रघुजुगौ श्री विचारणैक निपुणा सद्धर्म संस्थापक लोकानां हितकारिणं त्रिभुवने मन्नं शरण करो
Minutes remaining to chant Jaya Radha Madhava. Jaya Radha Madhava, Jaya Kunja Vihare, Radha Madhava, Jaya Kunja Vihare. Jaya Radha Madhava, Jaya Kunja Vihare, Jaya Radha Madhava, Jaya Kunja Vihare, Gopijana Vallabha, Jaya Girivaradhari, Jaya Girivaradhari, Jaya Gopijana Vallabha, Jaya Girivaradhari, Jaya Yashodananda, Jaya Vrajanaranjana, Jaya Vrajanaranjana, Jaya Yashodananda, Jaya Vrajanaranjana. Jaya Yamuna Tiravanachari, Jaya Kunja Vihare, Jaya Jaya Yamuna Tiravanachari, Jaya Kunja Vihare, Jaya Yamuna Tiravanachari, Jaya Radha Madhava, Jaya Kunja Vihare, Jaya Radha Madhava, Jaya Kunja Vihare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna
Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare Rama,
Rama Rama, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Krishna
Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare Rama,
Rama Rama Rama, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Hare. Jai. Jai.
Hare Krishna. So you're welcome to today's section, continuation of Unit 3. Oma Gyanatimirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Shakshu Minitanyena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stapetanyena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuktapada Kamalam Shri Guru Vaishnava Shri Rupa Sagrajata Sagana Raghunatham Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadhuitam Savadutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Pada Sagana Lalita Shri Vishaka Vitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagapati O Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanta Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vishwabanusute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakapatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama
Rama, Hare Hare.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Today chapter is very interesting one, and right from the beginning of the chapter, Krishna states that one who can understand this chapter will attain liberation, the perfection of life. Right from the beginning, Krishna is giving the benefit of this chapter. I've not put the verses today. Since we have our Bhagavad Gita, we're going to be reading directly, but they have gathered some few PowerPoint together. And today mainly we'll be borrowing references from Srimad Bhagavatam, because all this, today's the three gunas, the manifestation of the material universe, is detailed explained in the Srimad Bhagavatam. So here is a link from the previous chapter. In chapter 13, text 22, Krishna says that the living entity takes up repeated birth and death due to the association with the modes of material nature. So in this chapter, Krishna explained what three modes are, how they work, and how they bind us, and how we can transcend this mode. This is what we're going to be explaining in this chapter. How this mode, how they work on us, how they control every aspect of our life, how they bind us into this world like rope, and how we can transcend these modes of nature. This is what we're going to be discussing in this chapter. So in text 1, I will read, Shri Bhagavan Paramboya Prabhakshyami Gyanan Nam Gyanam Uttama Yagyatwa Munaye Sarve Param Siddhim Ito Gataha. So Krishna says, the Supreme Personality of Godhead said, again I shall declare to you this supreme wisdom, the best of all knowledge, knowing which all sages attain the supreme perfection. So Krishna is calling this Gyananam Gyanam Uttama. Gyananam Gyanam Uttama, the supreme, the best of all knowledge. And this knowledge give you Param Siddhim Ito Gataha, which all the sages who have attained this knowledge, they attain supreme perfection, which means if you also you can obtain this knowledge, you will attain the same destination. That is what Krishna is saying here. And in this chapter, we're going to be discussing from verses 1 to 9, the conditioning of the modes of nature is being discussed. From verses 10 to 18, the characteristics and action and the depth in the modes being discussed in these verses. And then from verses 19 to 27, we'll be discussing transcending the modes, how we can transcend these modes of nature. That is what we're going to be discussing from these verses. So I will quickly read the So in the purport to text 1, Srila Prabhupada explained in the purport, from the 7th chapter to the end of the 12th chapter, Sri Krishna in detail revealed the absolute truth, the supreme personality of Godhead. Now the Lord himself is furthering, enlightening Arjuna. If one understands this chapter, through the process of philosophical speculation, we will come to an understanding of devotional service. In the 13th chapter, it was clearly explained that by humbling, developing knowledge, one may possibly be free from material entanglement. It has also been explained that it is due to association with the modes of nature that the living entity entangle in this material world. So before I start explanation on this purport, I will quickly go through text 2 and text 3. Then we will discuss at length based on this point. So in text 2, Krishna says, Idam Gyana Upashritya Mama Sandamyam Agataha Tarigepi Nopajayanti Pralaye Navyatayanti Cha. By becoming fixed in this knowledge, one can attain to the transcendental nature like my own. Thus establish one is not born at the time of creation or disturbed at the time of dissolution. So Krishna is saying, he's saying, giving the benefit of this knowledge, that if we can attain this knowledge of three modes of material nature, we can come to this platform of transcendence, pure goodness, like Krishna. That we are not disturbed by the creation or the annihilation of the material universe. And in text 3, Krishna now give the beginning of this creation itself. He said, Mama Yoni Maha Brahma Tasmi Garbam Dadami Aham Sambhavaha Sarvabhuta Natato Bhavanti Bharata. The total material substance called Brahma is the source of birth. And it is that Brahma that impregnates, making possible the birth of all living beings, O son of Bharata. Then text 4. It says, Sarva yoni shu konteya murtaya sambhavati yaha. Tasam brahma mahayoni aham bija pradapita. It should be understood that all species of life, O son of Kunti, are made possible by birth in this material nature, and that I am the seed-giving father. So how come Krishna becomes in Canto 3, chapter 26? Krishna, then Kapila Muni explained the creation, the beginning of the creation. If you read, if you go to this Bhagavatam, Canto 3, chapter 26, you will see the description how this Krishna becomes a seed-giving father of this material nature. In the beginning, like in the last chapter, we discussed about the 24 elements. Who can remind us some of the 24 elements? Who can remind us quickly? We have 24 elements, which is Krishna called the Kshetra. So we have the Mahabhutas, the great element, the gross element itself, which is earth, water, fire, air, and ether. These are the 5 gross elements. Then we have 5 subtle elements. We have taste, we have color, that is form. When you see that is objects, how you perceive this world is in different colors. That is, we call it form. Without form, everything is meaningless. So we have taste, form, smell, touch, and sound. This is how we perceive. They are called subtle senses. We perceive this world. Then we have knowledge acquiring senses. The ear, the tongue, skin, eyes, and nose. These are knowledge acquiring senses. They are 5, making 15. Now we have the other 5. Hello?
5 working.
Yes, working senses. Yeah, that is the mouth. You want to tell us some of them, man?
Speech, hands,
yes,
leg,
yes,
gentle, and anus.
Thank you very much. So this make 20 of this element. Then the remaining 4, we have the subtle senses, which is the mind, the mind, intelligence, ego, and contaminated consciousness. This is how it's explained in Srimad Bhagavatam. We have the mind, the intelligence, ego, and the contaminated consciousness. So this makes the 24 elements, which Krishna called Kshetra in the previous chapter. But there's one particular element, because this 24 element is called Pradhan. In the beginning of creation, Krishna said, Sarva yoni shu kaunteye murtaya sambhavatiya tasam brahma mahayoni aham bija pradapita. Krishna says that it should be understood that all species of life, O son of Kunti, are made possible by birth in this material nature, and that I am the seed-giving father. So what I'm trying to explain here is that all these 24 elements, they are there in their innate state in the beginning. It's called Pradhan. So this Pradhan was there in the beginning. This 24 elements was active. It's just like when you have you want to make some dish in your kitchen, and you keep all the ingredients there. They will remain there as long as you keep them there. Unless you come there and start mixing them, nothing will happen. So sometimes the material scientists, they say this nature come by accident. It happened by itself. It doesn't work like that. We have never seen anything in nature that happened on its own. No, somebody has to be the accelerator or the actor behind it. So the same thing also, the material nature in the beginning, we have these 24 elements. Then Krishna, in the form of time, glances at this nature, the glance of the Lord. And it's called Kala, time. So by the influence of time on this 24 elements, the living entity are being impregnated into the pradhan. So now we have 25 elements, the 24 inert elements, and now time being the 25th element. So this 25th element in this material nature is called Saguna. It is due to this 25th element that everything in this world is being manifested. Anything we are seeing in this material world is manifested from this 25 element. So time is the greatest influence of all time on this element. Past, present, and future. Time. Time is not what we see on our wall clock, that machine that is moving. No. Krishna is time. And because of this influence of time on the material nature, every living entity under the mode of first ego or under the mode of material nature, we are afraid of death because of influence of time. So time is the greatest, is the external manifestation of God or Krishna in this material universe. So what happens? So I'm going to read from chapter Bhagavatam, the way it is being explained by Kapila Muni. So Lord Kapila explains in Bhagavatam, he said the influence of Supreme Personality of Godhead, it is felt in the time factor, which causes fear of death due to the false ego of the deluded soul. So the influence of time on material nature is what brought about all the varieties of living entity. And that is why Krishna is the active force in this material nature, in the influence of time. And that is why Krishna mentioned in Bhagavad Gita that time I am the destroyer of the world. So time manifests in this world as a destroyer. And those who are in ignorance, who are not aware of the supremacy of God, they are already afraid of time in form of death. You can see by the influence of time, everything deteriorates in the universe. Everything, even including us, our body, due to the influence of time, everything deteriorates. We are having seasonal changes, winter, summer, spring, autumn, due to the influence of time. So time is the major influence of creation. And that is why in the beginning, all the elements were inert, but when the Lord glances at it, which is time, everything becomes active. In the Srimad Bhagavatam, in a Canto 3 also as well, there's an explanation of calculation of time. It is very nicely explained there. If you read this part of Bhagavatam, you will enjoy it. How time is not just this machine we have on our wall, but how the time is being calculated from the atomic particles. When you look through your window, when the sun ray is shining in the early morning, when you look through your window, when you see the sun ray entering your room, you will see some particles floating in that sun ray. According to Srimad Bhagavatam, that is the smallest particle of time that we can perceive. We can perceive. And from this is being calculated to Nimesha. From Nimesha, we have different categories. Then we have Murutas. Then like that. Then we have hours, months. Then we have year. This the development of time. How the time graduates from the atomic particle to what we can perceive, and based on how it's influencing our life. As the time is, the month is, as days is going now, then weeks comes, then months, and the years is going. We are growing old. We are not growing younger. We are not growing younger. We are growing old every time. So when the sun is rising and is setting, it's taking away gradually the life of the living entity. That is what is going on. So time is the major influence in the creation. And it is explained also that Ata Purusha Rupena Kalarupena Yabahi. What does that mean? It means that the super soul entered into the living entity. That is, the Lord is residing inside the living entity as a super soul, and the same Lord is residing outside as time. Kalarupena Yabahi. That the Lord is residing outside the living entity in the form of time. But the same Lord, like we read in the previous chapter about Kshetragyan, the super soul. So the Lord is residing in our heart as the super soul, and the same Lord is residing around us as time. We can perceive time around us. As we are talking now, the time is moving. From the minute particle is moving, before we know, hour is gone, then day is gone, and like that. So everything is being influenced by the power of time. No matter how powerful you are in this world, with time, you'll be subdued. After some time, people will only see your name in history. You will not be there. Alexander the Great of the long time, where is he today? We have Hitler's, and many people now they are exerting their power. After some time, they become name in history. So that is the power of time. It's very, very powerful. So the Lord impregnates Shakti, the Prakriti, sorry. When the elements, they are inert, is called Pradhan. When the Lord glances at the elements and in the form of time, everything starts then the material nature delivering the living entity. At that time, it becomes Mahatattva. There is a difference between Pradhan and Mahatattva. Pradhan is the inert material element. Then when the Lord impregnates Pradhan, then it delivers what we call Mahatattva, where the variegatedness of the universe begins. So from Pradhan, we have Mahatattva. Then from Mahatattva come the cosmic intelligence. The cosmic intelligence, that is in the form of Lord Brahma. And after this creation of cosmic intelligence, then we have the production of goodness. So I'm trying to explain this so that at the end, when we start talking about the activity of the modes, we can know the origin of all these things. That's why I'm trying to explain all this in details. So from the Mahatattva comes the cosmic intelligence. Then after the cosmic intelligence comes the pure goodness itself. And then from the pure goodness, we have what we call pure consciousness. So from pure goodness, pure consciousness is being produced. So from pure consciousness, then comes the first ego, ego. Because there is pure consciousness itself is ego, but from this pure consciousness come ego, which is mixed with the most of material nature. And this is where the reaction of material nature starts. The creation itself. From this first ego mixing with the most of material nature. And that is why we can live in entity, we can attend to that original pure consciousness. So when we are talking about Krishna consciousness, being pure consciousness is not like imaginary thing or something that is utopia. No, it's the original consciousness of the living entity when it's not contaminated with matter. Just like when the rainwater is, Prabhupada used a very nice analogy. Just like when the rainwater is coming from the sky, it's pure, but immediately it touches the mud, it becomes dirty. So when the living entity is in original pure consciousnness, without no contamination with the most of nature, it's pure. And that is why one can attain that real nature back. It's not a foreign thing. There is pure consciousness, or there is original state of pure consciousness. So when this mode of natures mix with first ego, then we start having different elements being created. When ego mixed with goodness, the mind comes. We have our mind, and our mind is produced from false ego mixing with goodness. And that is why meditation is recommended for the mind, because the mind can be in the mode of goodness. It's possible for the mind to be calm and peaceful, because the original state of mind is from ego plus goodness. So the mind can attain that state, because that is where it's being produced. And that is why meditation is the way to attain that state of mind. When false ego mixed with passion, produces our intelligence. So that is why the mind, the intelligence is the house of passion. You know, for according to the Srimad Bhagavatam, is the characteristics of intelligence is doubt, misapprehension, correct apprehension. We have memory and sleep. These are the characteristics of the intelligence, and that is why when it's not unnatural for us to be doubtful, because that is the work of the intelligence. To discriminate good from bad is the work of intelligence. And to sleep also, that is the characteristic of intelligence. That's why if you don't have proper sleep, you will not be able to think properly. It will affect your intelligence. So this is where it's coming from. Then we have ego, the egoism mixed with mode of passion. When the ego mixed with mode of passion, then we have the knowledge acquiring senses being produced. So like this, when the different modes mix with this ingredient, ego produces varieties of the active part of human beings. And that is why these modes of material nature have total control over our life, because it's the major ingredient in producing all the elements of our body. And like I say, before this mixture, we have our pure consciousness. We have our pure intelligence, the cosmic intelligence. All these are there. Yes, Mataji, please ask your question. Please unmute yourself, Mataji, please.
Sorry, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
The false ego is there and we are carrying from birth to birth.
Yes.
Yes, then how they're saying we have to do the meditation, but which type of meditation?
Very good. See, why I'm saying about meditation is when I was talking about the false ego mixing with the mind, it produces the mind. It produces one false ego mixed with goodness produces the mind. So the mind is produced from the platform of goodness. And only on the platform of goodness that we can have peace of mind, happiness. And that is why when you want to attain that goodness, you have to meditate. Do meditation. So now you ask, what kind of meditation we have to perform? No, as time goes on, I will talk about all the elements, the sound, all the elements that come out of the creation also, sound and all those things. Immediately after this, all this other manifestation comes, the next element that comes was sound. And that is why sound is very important in the creation. And that is why sound is very important in liberating the living entity also. Sound has impact or influence on us. When somebody is sleeping, there's only one of his senses that is open. And which one is that? The ear. The ear is the only place that is open when you are sleeping. So when you make some sound, the person can wake up. Very easily can wake up. But there is one problem. It is said that you cannot wake a man who is pretending to be sleeping. It's very difficult. If somebody is pretending to be sleeping, you cannot wake him up. There's no how you try. Because why? He's pretending. He will turn here, because he's pretending. But if one is sincerely sleeping, when you wake him up, we make some sound, the person will wake up. So similarly, like I said, if you really want to have this peace of mind, and also he mentioned here, I didn't mention that. He said, when first ego mixed with goodness, it produces the mind, and whose thoughts and reflection give rise to desire. Very important point I did not mention. His thought and reflection give rise to desire. And that desire is the real cause of bondage in this material world. Is the cause of bondage for the living entity in this material world. Desire. And that is why when we purify our mind, it's not that we give up desire, but the desire will become pure. The desire will become pure. And what is pure desire? To engage in devotional service to Krishna. If not, if the mode is entangled with lower modes of nature, if the mind is entangled with lower modes of nature, the desire of the living entity is unlimited, unending. And that will continue to bind us more and more into the meshes of material mode of nature. And that is why we chant the Hare Krishna mantra, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. To do what? To purify our mind, so that it can come to that mode of goodness when the desire becomes pure. It's very, very important. So by chanting Hare Krishna mantra regularly every day, we are helping our mind. You can, it's a practical experience. Many of us who have been chanting for many years, we have. If you in the morning, you wake up in the morning and you chant your rounds very attentively, your day will be so wonderful. No matter what happened that day, you'll always be happy. If you chant your rounds in the morning. But if you don't chant in the morning, no matter how you do throughout the day, you will not be happy, even though you try. Because this chanting is very important in the morning. Why? Because in the morning is the mode of goodness. So because the mind is produced from mode of goodness and ego, so you can bear maximum purification of the mind by chanting during the time of mode of goodness. Let's say, for example, now, there was one day I was listening to Gauranga Prabhu. He was giving lecture and somebody asked question. Why is this chanting has to be done in the morning? Why can't it be done any other time of the day? So the Prabhu asked him also, why do you have to do party in the night, late in the night? Why can't you do it early morning? Why do people do party in the night? Because the night is the mode of ignorance, and the partying is activity of the mode of ignorance and passion. So it's sweet during that period, it's enjoyable during that period. The lower senses are more active during that period. That is why the party is wonderful during that period. So similarly also, spiritual meditation, spiritual activity is wonderfully done in the morning, because morning is in the mode of goodness, calmness. And also you can, if you wake up around, let's say you wake up around 4 o'clock and you try to chant, you will see the difference, because that is Brahma Muhurta hour, when Lord Brahma himself is putting everything in the universe in order for the activity of the day to begin. So it's very, very auspicious to do chanting that period, and it will make our mind to be very peaceful for the rest of the day. Mataji, are you okay with that?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Thank you very much. So we continue. So this is what So this is to explain. Krishna mentioned in this Bhagavad Gita text 4, the Sarva Yoni Shukanteya, Mutaya Sambhavatiya, Tasma Brahma Mahayoni, Aham Bija Prajapita, Tasma Brahma Mahayoni. Krishna said, he is one who impregnates nature, Pradhan, and is the seed-giving father of the material nature. So this is how this nature itself unfolds. And that brings about the different entity of different species of we have in this material universe. We have 8,400,000 species, as we explained in the last chapter. So of all these species, 400,000 is human. And in this human, we are supposed to maximize the advantage of this intelligence we have. Because only in human we can discriminate from serving God or not serving God. We have that independence. And if we don't make proper use of this, then we go down again into this pool of material modes. And we suffer and suffer. We try to come from the lower modes, because the animal, they are automatically controlled by the lower mode, passion and ignorance. But human being can elevate themselves to higher modes. These three modes, goodness, passion, and ignorance, they are like the three major colors that when they mix together, they give all the varieties of colors we have. We have the major color, we have the primary color, you have the secondary colors. So the same thing also, there is mixture of this mode in different categories that give back to all the living entities, all the living beings, all the animals that we have on this planet. And that is why the Lord is saying that he is the seed-giving father, and by him impregnating the most of material nature, that is how all the living entities are involved. Let me continue from the PowerPoint. So Krishna is saying, Jiva contact with Prakriti, matter. Krishna is the father, Prakriti is mother. So Jiva bonded, living entity is, so in test 5, let me read now. We're going to be talking about the most of nature. Test 5. Sattvam Rajastama iti guna prakriti sambhava nibadnanti mahabhao dehi namavyayam. So the Lord is saying, material nature consists of three modes: goodness, passion, and ignorance. When the eternal living entity come in contact with the nature, Almighty Ham, we become conditioned by these modes. So when we come in contact with this modes of nature, we become conditioned. We become conditioned. And that is why this chapter is very, very interesting. We are going to, as we go, we will read more and more, and we will enjoy it together. So the Lord is saying here, our conditioning in this material world is due to contact with the modes of material nature. And in text 6, he now gives us how those who are conditioned by different modes, how they behave. He said, Katram satwa nirmalatwa prakasa kamana mayam shuka sangena badnati gyana sangena chanaga. Also, next one, the mode of goodness being purer than the others is illuminating and is free ones from all sinful reactions. Those situated in that mode become conditioned by the sense of happiness and knowledge. So like I said about the colors. So we have three major primary colors: yellow, blue, and red. Secondary color, orange, green, and purple. Then from the mixture of all these colors, we have the variety of color we have in that cycle. So the living entity is the same, whether the soul in the body of a monkey, and the soul in the body of a tree, the soul in the body of animal, tiger, the soul in the body of lion, or the soul in the body of a human being, is the same soul. There's no difference. The only difference that is there is that we are having different clothes, different by the different modes of nature. The lion body is mostly influenced by the mode of passion. The monkey body is mostly influenced by the mode of ignorance. And a cow body is mainly influenced by the goodness. Similarly, also, we have in the bed, we have some birds who are mostly influenced by the mode of goodness. They only eat vegetables. They don't. We have birds that are more influenced by the mode of passion. They eat like vulture. They eat dead bodies. Then we have birds that are more in the mode of ignorance, like crows. If you are from India, you will know what I mean by crows. We don't have so much crows. We don't have crows. I've not seen crows in Africa yet. But if you go to India, you will see crows everywhere on the road. So when I say crows, you may not know what is crow, but if you've been to India, you will see what we know what I mean by crows. So they eat dirty things. You know, they stay on the dustbins. You know, where there's the garbage. That is what you will always see the crows. So that is because of the modes that are influencing them. So similarly in human body also, we are being influenced by these three modes. Goodness, like Krishna explained here. Those who are in the goodness, they are situated in the mode of goodness. They are influenced. They are conditioned by a sense of happiness and knowledge. So somebody who is always want to acquire knowledge, you will naturally be situated in the mode of goodness, because why? You will know what is good from what is bad. And that is why the scientists, the brahmanas, they are on this platform, because they are always acquiring knowledge, you know, and you can see these people, they are always very happy. So based on this mode, we are being controlled. You can see these puppets. These puppets, they will be being controlled by the puppet master. And what is that puppet master? The material nature. No, it's pulling us. Sometimes you see in the material world, you see people when they commit sinful activity or they commit some crime, they will say it's Satan. It's not. That is why when they are being sued to court, the judge will not punish Satan. He will not say, go and bring the Satan, let me punish him. No. The judge is still going to punish you. Why? Because you may be thinking it's something that is pushing you to have done that. But the judge is saying, still, you are the one who have done it. Because why? You're supposed to know that this is not good. But for the person, him is thinking that he's being pushed to do it. Why? Because of the mode is situated. So sometimes people, when they commit sin, that you see sometimes those who are in knowledge also, they are being propelled by these modes. They know that this thing is sin, or I'm not supposed to do it. But you see some energy being attracting you to do it. It's like, you should do it now. After all, it's only for today. Tomorrow, you will not do it. Maybe because of the most now is they are playing on you. And that is why you see in the street or on the road, the police will never stop goat that is breaking the law of the traffic light. No, it's humans. Because why? We are supposed to elevate our own modes, our consciousness. But this mode, they are very strong that if you don't elevate your consciousness, you'll be forced to act in the lower mode. And that is why Krishna mentioned in the beginning of this chapter that those who are in knowledge of these modes will be able to get liberation. Because why? Now you will know that I'm supposed to work hard to elevate my consciousness, to elevate myself from lower modes. You don't blame your problem on anybody. You are supposed to elevate yourself. How? By cultivating knowledge. Reading this Srimad Bhagavad Gita we are reading. So by cultivating knowledge, you can elevate your lower self to higher self. This is the importance of cultivating knowledge. And by cultivating knowledge, you become happy. Why? Because then you can do the right thing. So this is an explanation based on the test 5. The living entity, because he is transcendental, he has nothing to do with this material nature. Still, because he has become conditioned by the material world, he's acting under the spell of the three modes of material nature. So you can see the diagram. You know, like somebody is pulling you. Like somebody is pulling you. It's just like sometime also in the morning, we know that we are supposed to wake up and chant, but something will just be pulling you down. Huh? Oh, I will chant later. That is the influence of the mode. Influence is very strong. You know that this thing I'm supposed to do, but something will be pulling you. You want to go, you don't want to do it. It's the influence of the mode. And unless we are able, and towards the end of this chapter, we are going to see Krishna is going to give us the formula on how to transcend the mode. We are still going to be there. We are going to get there. That is why Krishna says that if you can understand this chapter, you will be liberated. Because it's going, after describing how the mode is having influence on us and the characteristics of the mode, the product of what we get when we engage in all the different modes, is he going to tell us you can only become transcendental if you do this and this. It's going to tell us. So we're going to hear that. The difficulty when a living entity is situated in the mode of goodness, it becomes conditioned to feel that he is advanced in knowledge and is better than others. So when that is why the mode of goodness also is still conditioning. Because you start thinking that you are better than other people, which is very dangerous. Although you'll be happy that you have knowledge, but that superiority complex may be your condition. And that is why, as a devotee of Krishna, we have to transcend even mode of goodness, because it's conditioning. So when you see a devotee who is thinking that he's better than other people because of his knowledge, you know that he's already trapped in the mode of goodness. So I will quickly read the remaining one. He said, passion. Raja Ragat Mikam Vidi Trishna Sangha Samun Bhava Tani Badnati Kaunteya Karma Sangena Deinam. He said, the mode of passion is born of unlimited desire and longing, O son of Kunti. And because of this embodied living entity is bound by the material fruitive action. So when we are bound by the mode of passion, we have unlimited desires. I want this, I want that, I want this, I want that. And what happens to somebody who have unlimited desire? You will never be happy. You always be working and working and working and working. You will never be happy because there is never end to our wants. There are some needs. We have some needs that we need to take care of: shelter, food, and there are some basic clothing. These are basic needs of human beings. But there is no limitation to our wants. For example, now, if you want iPhone 13 Pro, is it a need or a want? Or you want to buy a limousine? Huh? It's a want. And then you have to work tirelessly to achieve that. There's never end. And one thing about this desire is that it's never satisfying. When you have a particular desire, when you work very hard, immediately you achieve that desire, it becomes meaningless. You can practicalize it. You can go and try it. You understand what I'm saying? Many of us, we are mature. We have experienced that also at the different part of our life. But there's a particular thing you think, oh, if I don't get this thing, I will never be happy. Oh, I need this. And this thing, this is my priority. If I get this thing, I will become happy. If I don't get it, I will never be happy. Immediately you get that thing, it becomes useless. It's like, I've gotten it now, and then what? Because why? It's never going to be satisfied the soul. That is just wants. It's only because of your material wants That is why you are hankering for that. It's not going to satisfy the soul, because no material wants can satisfy the soul. Only Krishna, like when I started the explanation of this the law impregnating material nature, I mentioned at the beginning about pure consciousness. Only when we attain to this platform of pure consciousness, Krishna consciousness, only then we can be happy and satisfied. Because that is the platform of goodness. There's this verse in Srimad Bhagavatam, it says, we say it every month. Nashta prayeshwa bhadreshu nityam bhagavata sevaya. Bhagavati utamashloke. Bhakti bhavati nashtiki. Tada rajastamu bhava. Kama loba dayaschaye. Chita ita anavidam sitam satwe prasidati. Tada rajastamu bhava. Kama loba dayaschaye. This modes of material nature, lower modes of goodness, passion and ignorance, tadarajas, tamu bhava. They bind us into this material world. Rajas, unlimited anchoring. I want this, I want that. I want this, I want that. Oh, because the other person have this, me also I need it, I want it also. It will just keep us in the rat race of this material world, running here and there. There will never be satisfaction. There will never be satisfaction. The satisfaction comes only when we go inward. That satisfaction we are looking for outside is not there. It's inside, inward. Nothing outside can give us satisfaction. We're always looking, if I can get this woman, I will become happy, I will get love, I will be happy. No. Everything is inside. We just need to go inward. And that is why this mode of passion is more of unlimited desires, longings. It never gives happiness. Mode of goodness give happiness because it's about cultivating knowledge. You go inward. Because when you are cultivating knowledge, you are going inward. You are going inward. That happiness we are looking for is inside of us. It's not outside. And that is why nothing outside can give you happiness. External thing can give you comfort. There's a difference between happiness and comfort. Sometimes we misunderstand these words. There's a difference between happiness and comfort. Money can give you comfort, but it cannot give you happiness. But you need to have money. You need to have money so that you will not be miserable also. Because when you don't have money, you'll be thinking of money. That is why Bhakti Notaku say, you need to have money so that you don't look for money. Means we need to have money to take care of our needs. And that is why we work. We need to have money to take care of our needs so that you don't think of our money. Because if you become a false renunciant who is always preaching against money, then although you call yourself a renunciant, you always be thinking of money. Oh, who is going to give me money? Who is going to give me money? You'll be thinking of, so you will not have peace of mind yourself. But we need to have money to satisfy our needs, not our wants, because the want is unlimited. We need to have money to satisfy our needs so that we can be able to meditate and really achieve that happiness we are looking for inside us. So, like I said, material things, material wealth can give you comfort, but it cannot give you happiness. Because why? Let's say, for example, somebody who is driving Lamborghini and somebody who is driving one ordinary small car, let's say Toyota. What is the principle in the car? What is the purpose of car? To take you to destination. The only difference is the comfort you get in that Lamborghini may not be there in that Toyota. But the purpose is what? To take you to your destination. So you can get, but you can get happiness if you're satisfied with Toyota taking you to the destination. But if you are not satisfied, even with the Lamborghini, you'll be looking for something higher than that. Because now it's not more about going to your destination, it's about making show. It's about enticing others, making others to be envious of you. And that is what living entity, that is what we do, we know how to do best. We like to make sure so that others will become envious of us. And that will bring more miseries to us because you will never be satisfied also. You're not happy. Your little happiness you think you are deriving is to see others be miserable, just see you showing your affluence. That is the happiness in the mode of ignorance. When you come to chapter 17, you are going to read about that also. The different level of happiness. Happiness in goodness, happiness in passion, happiness in good ignorance. We will not do that in this chapter. In 17, you are going to do that. We have charity in goodness, charity in passion, charity in ignorance. You have sacrifice in goodness, sacrifice in passion. You know, all this, the mode is, you know, influencing all these things. Somebody is staying in a simple apartment. If you're satisfied with what you have, you'll be happy in that place. And somebody may have a big 5-star hotel kind of building or mansions, and you will never be happy inside that room. Because why? It's not about the external. It's about the contentment of the mind. So mode of passion is connected to unlimited longings. Then we have then test 8. It's a Tamastat Agyam Jambiri Mohana Sarvadehi now. That's test 8. Pramada Lasya Nidra Bistani Badnanti Barata. O son of Bharat, know that the mode of darkness, born of ignorance, is delusion of all embodied living entity. And this mode results in the mode of madness, indolence, sleep, and which bind the condition soul. So ignorance is the most dangerous of all the modes. So we should be very, very careful. It's the most dangerous. Why? It binds us to madness. What is madness? Properly explained in the purport, the meaning of madness. It's a madness means that, I will give an example from our own environment. You see, sometimes somebody has built a very big mansion and amassed so much wealth, and the person left all this, died and left all these things. And you will see two people who want to control this wealth, they will be fighting themselves and killing themselves on it. Is it not madness? Somebody has just died and left the same wealth, and you are fighting to kill yourself on the same thing. Isn't that madness? So this is madness. And it is said also that the most amazing thing in this life is that everybody around us is dying, and we don't think that one day we are going to die. Is it not madness? The Prabhupada says that in this world, everybody is mad. All of us, we are mad. Why? Why is it that Prabhupada said that we are all mad? You see that madman you are seeing on the road. You see some people on the road, they are mad. You see that madman you are seeing on the road. The madman is thinking, why are all these people running around? Him is sitting in a dirty place, very disgusting place, and he's calm, gentle. He's not disturbed. And you see everybody moving up and down. So the madman is thinking, why are all these people mad? And they're going here and there. He just needs to stay one place and he's satisfied. But Bhakti Maharaj one day gave a story, the experience he got from Harinam. He said one day they were doing Harinam in one city in Nigeria here. So as they were doing that Harinam, the heavy rain started pouring. And this rain was bringing ice block. So everybody was in the arena, everybody was trying to run and hide because this block will be hitting your head. So everybody was trying to look for a place to hide. And as they were running, they saw this madman. He was just sitting down calm and looking at everybody. Isn't that funny? So that is the situation of this world. Me, I'm thinking that man is mad. That man is looking at me and he's thinking I'm mad. Actually, we are all mad. We are only in a different level of madness. Why? Because if we are not mad, we will understand that whatever we are chasing after in this material world, it's just a matter of time. Maximum of 100 years, everything will become gone. Everything will be gone, and we will not take everything with us. So if we are not mad, why can't we sit down and think, if I leave this place, what is going to be my destination? Why am I working so hard for the thing I'm going to leave behind? If I leave this place, what is going to be my destination? An intelligent man always plans of future. That is a sign of intelligence. What will happen to me tomorrow? Anybody who just living for today is an ignorant man, stupid person. But somebody who is intelligent is always thinking ahead of the future, even beyond. What is going to happen to me if I leave this world? I'm struggling here now. Whatever I think is my own actually does not belong to me because I came here, I met them. When I was here, I tried to have control over them. After some time, I will lose the control. Everything will go to another person who is trying to have control over them. Even while we are trying to have control over them, we kill ourselves. Is it not madness? And this is a sign of mode of ignorance. So in this material world, we are all deep in ignorance. And that is why you will never see a man who is in one pure particular mode. Okay, this man is in mode of ignorance, and no. We are always, the mode are always intertwined, influencing our life. Whether you are in mode of passion, goodness, passion, ignorance, goodness, passion, ignorance, goodness, it's always mixing. And that is why you act in a particular way at this particular point, then at another point, you find yourself acting in a particular way. And that is why you see, when we engage, why do we equate sex life to animalistic nature, to animal life? Because when you are engaging in sex, you don't have the sense of human being again. There's no, it's action in the mode of ignorance. And that is why you are not, you're under your own, you are not in your control of yourself again when you are descended to that lower mode, which is equated to animal nature. The animal, they can conveniently have sex anywhere in the street. Why? Because they are predominantly in that mode. They don't care, but because of the little mode of goodness there in human, so we try to hide and do this animalistic action. So this ignorance is very strong on us. Passion and goodness. So I will just read the last one, then I will open for question and answer, then we can stop for today. So text 9 says, Satwam suke sajayati raja karmani bharata gyanam avritva tutamaha pramade sanjaya huta. What is the translation? It says, O son of Bharata, the mode of goodness condition one to happiness, passion condition one to fruitive action, and ignorance covering one's knowledge bind one to madness. So Krishna just summarizes all these modes in one verse. Goodness condition us to happiness, passion condition us to fruitive action, and ignorance condition us to madness. Prabhupada said, covering one's knowledge bind one to madness. So we should not go to and that is why you see the sadhus, so those who are already in the mode of goodness or pure goodness, they are more scared to come lower mode than any other thing. Because when you come to lower modes, you are not the one controlling yourself. You are being forced to act. When you are in goodness, you select your action. You are in control. You select your action. I want to be in this place at this social time. I want to do this at this social time. I don't want to do this. I don't want to do that. You select your action because you are acting in knowledge, mode of goodness. But when you come to the mode of passion and ignorance, you are not more in control. The nature has taken over. And that mode influences you to act. Any question?
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Yeah, Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Mataji, Hare Krishna. Anyone? First, please.
Prabhu, let Prabhuji ask.
Yeah, Raganunga, Bhakti Prabhu, please go ahead.
Prabhu, thanks so much for your time. From today's discussion, it is quite clear that all embodied souls are under the control of the three modes or qualities of material nature. Now, I don't have a better understanding when it comes to this control. Now, if I'm being controlled, then it means I shouldn't be responsible for my actions. So how, please, I don't know if you can throw more light on that for me. Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much, Prabhu. If you open to Bhagavad Gita chapter 3, verse 27, let's start from there. 3:27. Krishna says there, Prakite kriya manani, guna karmani sarvashaha, ahankara vimodatma, krataham iti mayate. The spirit so bewildered by the influence of false ego think himself the doer of activity that in actuality carry out by the three modes of material nature. So although we think we are the doer, but we are never the doer. Just like you say, that why is it that if you are not the one in control, why do you have to receive the punishment? So that is the same example I gave. Okay, you are not in control. Go and slap a soldier. You just walk in the streets and go and slap it. Your mind just tell you, I feel like slapping a soldier man today. Then you slap the soldier man. You know, in Africa, we respect soldiers so much. So you go on the streets, you slap the soldier man, and the soldier man look at you. He says, no, sir, I'm sorry. I'm not the one in the mode. So what is the soldier man going to do? He's going to take you to the barracks, and they're going to drill you small, give you some drilling. Whatever they have experienced when they were doing their own practice, they will give you small feet to tell you what they have done to come to being a soldier, so that you can have more respect for them when you see them again later. You understand? So what I'm trying to say in essence is that although the mode is the one controlling, but the living entity, we have a bigger responsibility to perform. Why? And that is why the Lord has given us intelligence. The Lord has given us intelligence. Intelligence, the work of intelligence is to discriminate that this is good and this is bad. So, and what is our main duty to this intelligence to be able to help us so that we will not act in a wrong way, so that we don't get punished and be thinking, I'm not the one doing. No. So that is why we should cultivate knowledge. That is where knowledge comes in. Because when you cultivate knowledge, then you can be able to discriminate from wrong action and bad action. In that way, you will always act right. Then you don't need to face any consequences. But if you remain in ignorance, you don't cultivate knowledge, you remain in ignorance and you act in the mode of ignorance and passion, even though you are not the one in control, the mode are the one controlling you, but you are still going to be responsible for the action. It's just for example now, you have a car. So in that car, apart from being you controlling the steering, you are not the one, you are not the engine of the car. Everything is acting automatically. Once you start the engine, everything starts acting automatically. So what you need to do is to have the knowledge of driving, so that you know that I should go on this side of the road. I should not go against the law of traffic. I should be on this side of the road, and I should be careful when people are passing so that I don't hit them. So this knowledge you have to have as you are inside that car. Because why? If you are not in knowledge of your car, you don't know whether the brake is working or is not working, and you go and mistakenly hit someone, they are not going to hold your car, even though it's the car that has done the damage. They are going to hold the person inside the car. It's the same thing. The most of nature are the one acting, but the living entity is going to be responsible for the happiness and distress that this is causing to us. And that is why we have to cultivate knowledge so that we can elevate our consciousness to the mode of goodness and ultimately to pure goodness. Very, very important. And that is why we're studying the Bhagavad Gita. And the more we study these holy scriptures, the more we sharpen our intelligence, that we don't degrade ourselves to the lower modes. I don't know, maybe I'm able to answer your question.
Yes, Prabhu, thank you so much.
Thank you.
And that's over now. Thank you.
Mataji, please, you can unmute yourself.
Yeah, Hare Krishna Prabhuji. My question is similar to this question. Just like we have the knowledge that we should not behave like that. But still sometimes it comes that we know that it's not good. Then also we behave in that particular manner. Then how to control or like how
Thank
we
you
should.
very much.
Yeah.
This is another very important. Then that is where karma comes in place. We know about karma. We know our karma. Like Maharaj gave a very nice example one day. There was one man, there was something that happened, and he just gave this other man slap. Bah! And the man just looked at him and he smiled. And when he left the place, he didn't respond, he didn't revenge, he didn't slap him. He just left the place and he was smiling. And you should know one thing, according to Yudhishthira Maharaj, if someone criticizes you and you don't respond or try to protect yourself, whatever good qualities in that person will come to you. Whatever bad quality is in you will go to that person. Similarly also, if somebody acts violently against you and you don't respond, the same thing also happen. So what happened is that somebody now asked that man, say, oh, what happened? That man slapped you and you didn't slap your back. What happened? He said, that is my karma. Maybe in my past life, I've slapped someone. So it's destined that I receive slap. So he has slapped me. If I return it, I've created another karma for future. So sometimes the karma come into place for us to act in a uncontrollable way sometimes. And that is why Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita that when that time comes, that my devotee, due to previous karma, accidentally act in an abnormal way, I will protect him. But that does not mean that we should take that knowledge and start acting abnormal. But things sometimes happen beyond our understanding. That's what I'm trying to say. Because it's karma. So, but naturally, we still are responsible for our happiness and distress of whatever action we perform. And that is why we should continue to cultivate knowledge. But if anything comes in between, the Lord will protect us. Mataji, am I able to answer your question?
Yes, Prabhuji. Oh, thank you very much.
Thank you very much. So we stop here today. Hare Krishna.
Yes.
Prabhu, Madhu Sneha, Prabhu, how are you?
Yes. Well. Then I just Mataji asked the question, he answered part of the karma, but
Yes.
the life is dependent on the karma.
You said?
So there is not in our control.
I don't say.
Life is dependent on the karma.
Yes.
Okay. So that it can be possible to explain in the brief how to control that some of the things, because our mind and it's always to go on that side, and we cannot make quick decisions.
Yes.
Sometimes which is the right and wrong. And
yes. What happened is that. Yeah, you are right. Our life is based on karma. Yes. But what happened is that. Yes, our life is based on karma. Please, you can mute yourself. Our life is based on karma, but knowledge, devotional service has the power, the potency of neutralizing karma. Only devotional service, only devotion to Krishna can neutralize karma. It will neutralize karma in such a way that you will not have future karma too. It's not that you will not experience the one that you already created. You will pass through it, but by engaging in devotional service, there will not be future karma. And when your karma has stopped, means that you will not be able to live in this material world again. So what I'm trying to say in essence is that our life is from A, B, C, D. A, B, C, D. Due to karma, we appear in the womb of our mother. A. Father come together with mother. Somehow we appear in the womb of our mother. After staying there for some time, 9 months minimum, we take birth in this world. B. From that, when we take birth, when we get to the age of teenager, most decision and action that happens in our life is directed by our parents. So we don't have so much karma on that. But once we are teenager, we start making choices for ourselves. That is C. So those choices we make for ourselves will determine our future life before D, which is death. So what I'm trying to say is that in our life, when we are living life, we always have choice, or what we call free will. The Lord has given us free will to act, or choice. We can choose from situation. I will give you a very good example. Before you stand up to go and slap somebody that you slap, there's so many choices going on in your mind. Oh, I should not slap me. What about if he responds? What about if he go and pick up a knife? What about if the person, what about if he punch me? So many things will be going in your mind. What about if he slap me? What about if he do this? But sometimes we neglect all these choices, or we'll not be able to choose properly because there's no proper knowledge. So when there's no proper knowledge, we make wrong choices. We make wrong choice, then we go and do that. So what I'm trying to say is that God has given us free will, and by cultivation of knowledge, we can make proper use of our free will, whether to act or to not to act. By cultivating of knowledge, you can make proper use of your free will. And as long as you are making proper use of your free will, you will not inculcate future karma. So very, very important. And that is why we should not react. Sorry, we should not respond to action. We should react. I say, it's like I'm missing it up. We should not react, we should respond. Because when you respond, you think, you get proper knowledge before you act. So we should not react to situation. There was one example given. Some few ladies, 3 ladies, they came to a restaurant. They wanted to eat in that restaurant. So as they were eating, cockroach came from nowhere. Cockroach. You know, ladies, they are always afraid of cockroach. They are more afraid of cockroach than their husband. So cockroach came from nowhere and perched on the body of this one of the lady, and immediately jumping. Then he fly from the body of this lady, jumps to the other lady, and that also he jumping, and like that. And a man came, watched the lady as they are dancing, picked the cockroach, and threw it out of the window. So what is the difference? The difference is that the ladies, they are reacting to cockroach. Why the man respond? What to do? What to do? He picked the cockroach and threw away. So what I'm trying to say is that situation will happen in life. And that is why it's very important for us to cultivate knowledge so that we learn to respond to action, not to react. Because when you will react, we can never comprehend what will be the reaction, what will be the results. Sorry. Because when you react, you don't think. But when you respond, you think, then you get proper results. So, Prabhu. So, yes, our life is controlled by karma, and that is why Krishna has given us free will to act, even within our karma. Say, for example, now, Prabhu, you are getting $10,000. You can decide what to do with that $10,000. You can decide, I want to womanize and enjoy, drink beer and do this. Then, when the result will come, you will suffer. You commit sins, which will bring reaction. Then again, also, you will not have money to spend in the future because you didn't invest. But when you respond to your karma, you get the $10,000, you think, oh, how can I do business so that I can make more money? That is the proper way to go. So karma comes, but we should learn to cultivate knowledge so that when our karma is coming, we should know when to tolerate and when to act in a way that Krishna will purify our karma. So knowledge is very important. Devotional knowledge. That is why devotional service is very, very important so that we can purify ourselves to be able to make proper use of our free will that Krishna has given us. Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. So I think we will stop here today. Then we'll continue from tomorrow. We continue from chapter 14, 10 to 18. So we can go and read this from these are the characteristics and action of these modes. What happened? What are the characteristics of the modes, the action, and how we behave in different modes. So this is what we are going to study tomorrow. So please let us read ahead so that we can enjoy this together. Hare Krishna. Prabhupada ki jai.
Yeah. Thank you.
Haribo.
Very good.